Hello again, this is PC Delta Link, back with more of our Enigmatica 2 Let's Play Normal Mode, and this is episode 69. Alright, we're over here back in our nuclear craft room, and we are going to continue working on our fusion reactor today. We currently are trying to get some more fuel out of these, so we crafted a bunch more of the different fuels for these things, and we're just going to let them run while we're messing around with other stuff. This one is currently not running because we do not really have much californium at the moment. We're working on getting more of that with the curium processing. You can see our tanks are filling up decently. They're stopped at the moment, but the lapis tank's actually over half full now. The destabilized redstone takes a lot longer to fill, apparently, between the two. So at the moment, we're out of lapis, and I kind of disabled it for now, and yeah, this is slowly working through the redstone it's got in here to process. So it is at least slowly gaining, and there's plenty in here for now to run this for a while once we have stuff. Another change we did between episodes is, we had this fission reactor port here, and we went ahead and added on the item conduit that will pull the items, and that line runs all the way over here. Basically runs through, from over there to right here, through the wall, and then into the other line, letting the used californium fuel be automatically taken to the fuel reprocessor. Also, something that I did not get to mention in episode, I believe it was 67, I misspoke in that episode, and unfortunately I tried to upload a edited version with a comment explaining my mistake, but for some reason the footage was really corrupted somehow, and it kept showing glitched out stuff when I tried to upload it through my editing program, but it uploaded just fine through YouTube itself. But I had said in that episode that buffers hold 64 buckets of liquid. That is not true. They hold 32. If you look at the Wayla icon on my screen at the top, you see it says Molten Lapis 32,000 out of 32,000. So yeah, I had read that FE at the bottom, which I believe is energy, that holds 64,000. And yeah, that is what I had mistakenly said was the fluid capacity of buffers, but no, it's 32 buckets. So just a minor mistake, but I did want to point out I don't like leaving mistakes unmentioned. You can see I widened this hallway a little bit. We're working on trying to get this into a proper entrance. Let's see. Also, I had to upgrade some of our crafting downstairs. See, before, when I was crafting a lot of this stuff for the fission reactors and for the early part of the fusion reactor, we were basically using the buffer of all the ingots I've crafted in the past, so it really wasn't that big a deal, and it didn't seem to take that long either. However, as I got into higher tier crafting of that, and let me pull up craftable for not fusion controller, fusion magnet, because I had calculated I needed almost 160 more of these, and to give you an idea of how much this would cost, 1200 copper, 1500 tough alloy, which that takes, tough alloy is pretty hard to get a hold of. Actually, this would need over 2000 just for that. So there's ferroboron, advanced plating, it's actually a ton of material. And because this isn't really doing it justice, let me order, tough alloy. Let me order, 2,700 of that so you can get an idea of how much I would have had to craft right there. And how much this takes. 1,300 lithium. Steel was the big problem. Steel was used in so much stuff that I basically ran out of it, and it takes forever to craft it. When I was trying to craft it and use it in around 800 to 1,000 per crafting operation, my system just couldn't keep up with it. You can see we have spent a lot of time between episodes now. We've pretty well fixed our supply issue. We now have almost 6,000 steel stored. We actually ran out of iron during this crafting. That's how ridiculous we had gotten to in this. So yeah, iron's back up over 4,000. Everything else we tried to buff a little bit to give us some more breathing room on stuff. But actually, I'm gonna order some copper while I'm up here. I just order 1,000 more copper, that'll be fine. I'll just plunk it in here while we're busy downstairs. So, alright, but what I changed on the steel processing, and what I realized the problem was, is that originally, I had all of the steel being dumped into this chest back here. I upgraded this to an iron chest. All the steel was being dumped in here for both the enriched iron recipe and the steel dust recipe. And those were going through here, and all of that was being processed through this one metallurgic infuser. And of course, it can't do it at the same time, and you're limited by how many of these things you have. So, unfortunately, it took forever to craft a lot of steel. To the point, I think at one point it took me, I don't remember how much I ordered, but it wasn't an extreme amount. And it took over an hour for it to finish crafting it all. So, I decided to, for the short term, I came up with an idea for fixing this. I added another metallurgic infuser down here. And this one is now set for the steel blend recipe. I said steel dust, it's steel blend. So now, instead of the enriched iron and the compressed carbon going back into this chest to go through the same one, it comes down here, letting the steel blend be created in its own metallurgic infuser, and the enriched iron can be created in its own dedicated metallurgic infuser. So this basically means we cut the processing time to do this in half. And it's the exact same setup as over here, you know, the infusion item from the left, input from the bottom, just like that. And then, you know, we just disconnected these two with a Yeta wrench, and then output over here and down and into the chest like the rest of it. So yeah, it works. I do have an idea to expand this crafting later, and with something that I think can fix our issues with steel completely. But that's going to be a little while still before I'm able to develop that. But I do have an idea, and this room may not be big enough for it either. What this has taught me in the quest to get all these fusion electromagnets that I need for the fusion reactor is that our ore processing system is insufficient, especially upstairs. I mean, this works for crafting stuff, but you're still limited to one item at a time, and it's still, even though all of these are maxed out for energy and speed upgrades, this still takes quite a while. I mean, this is just 1,000 copper. That's really not that much for a ton of stuff, and see, in the time I set that up, it's only gotten less than 200 done. So this does take a while. Yeah, it's adequate if I don't have a lot to do, but yeah, unfortunately it does just take a while to get through it. So, in a future episode, not probably, I'd say at least 3 or 4 episodes down the way, if not longer. I might put it off if I don't need to. I will be working on a massive overhaul and a reconstruction of our smelting operations. Probably moving them to a completely different spot. I'll probably leave these here because of how ingrained this is up here, but I'll be creating a new setup for ore processing, dedicated to ore processing, and much faster than this setup is. Alright, so I've yammered on long enough. Let's move on toward completing our fusion reactor. So, alright, we are going to need the fusion electromagnets, which I've already got them crafted in here. And I believe I counted them correctly. Ha ha ha. Oh, did I already... I might have made too many. I didn't know I had this Okay, well, that's alright, because we'll end up building a second one later anyway. Okay, so let's head back down to our fusion reactor down here. I did dig out the room slightly more along the walls. But for now, we need to keep going on getting this ring of fusion electromagnets created. And that one's sticking out too far. There we go. Now, I don't recall if I mentioned before, but I do not know what the max size fusion reactor is, and the wiki does not tell me. I know they can be very big, though. Far bigger than I will ever create on this pack. Dang it. But just something to keep in mind, that these can be bigger. But this was the biggest one that I built in my test world. And honestly, this one alone provides more power than we should need. Yeah, I really hope I counted this correctly. Watch me fail. Whoops. Come on. Where'd that come from? Okay, we got it, yeah. The one extra I've got was for that one on the floor that I didn't know was there. So good, I did count it correctly. Okay, and last but not least, we're going to put our clear, transparent fusion electromagnets around the edge. Come on, there we go. Oh. Okay. Oh, I can't seem to get out of the room now. Slight oversight. Alright, not a big deal. We'll fix that real quick. Okay, so this is a completed fusion reactor for the base structure of it. And now if you go to the... Alright, it doesn't show the size because currently the magnets are not powered. So now here comes the next tricky part. We have to power every single one of these fusion electromagnets. Now the problem with this is, well, I ran into a couple problems in the creative world. And I have these the Californium RTGs with me, so I'm just going to demonstrate it from them, if I can. So let me just do this now. There, okay. So you see this fusion electromagnet has turned green now. This means it is powered. So something that they're supposed to do, the fusion electromagnets, but they do not seem to do it, is they're supposed to pass power between each other. So like, you know, these take 50 RF per tick, this thing puts off 300. It should be able to supply 6 of them, right? So we could get 3, 4, 5, 6. And it should be able to handle all 6 of these. And see, there we go. They are powered from this one RTG. But yeah, for some reason, they are not passing power between them correctly. So unfortunately, that means I have to put power cable on every single square of these things. So that is extremely unfortunate. And of course, we had to have the power for these fusion electromagnets to begin with. So I did come up with an option to help with that. And I could just use a quantum entangler, of course, but that would be kind of boring when I have another option available. And of course, that would be, first off, our Californium. As soon as I find our Californium 250, here we go. Yeah, we can make more RTGs, so it's kind of a way to use the RTGs that we've already got. And I'm carrying too much in my inventory to do the next step, so let me get some of this cobblestone out of here. And believe it or not, we have, you know, a good amount of the best RTGs that we're going to have available, the Californium ones. But there is another one we can get. And that, oh, I can get one more, good. And that is, we have this Americium 241. This can actually be used to make an RTG, a weaker one. It produces 150 RF per tick, but it's still free power, and that's what matters here. So we are going to take all of those Americium 241s that I can, well, if we did before the system conked down on us. There we go, 51 of them. In physics we trust. I like it. Okay, so now we're going to throw this in here. First things first, we're going to get some... we need advanced plate. Okay, that's fine. Let's craft about 200 of that. That'll be good. And hopefully that won't take too long. Whoops. Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is 800 tough alloy just to make 200 of these. It's absolutely absurd how much tough alloy you go through in these fusion reactor setups. Well, while that's crafting, we have another thing to set up down here. So, I had said we were going to use hydrogen for our fuel for this, of course. And that will be provided from our electrolytic separator, as you might have expected. So, we're actually just going to plunk the electrolytic separator right on there. We're going to have our sink right here. Should have our basic mechanical pipe right there. There we go. There we go. Change that to none. Change that to pull. Which side's hydrogen? Left side's hydrogen. That's perfect. That's exactly what we need. So we're going to need some... We're going to need to tell this to vent the excess oxygen. Because we don't care about oxygen. That's going to run out of power in a minute. But still, we've got that done. And how's this going? Oh, it's done. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some of these RTGs. Okay, we have now 20 of those. And now the Americium RTGs. 32. That's pretty good. That might actually be enough, so we're gonna hold off on that. We also need some rad spangled power. That's good. That's good. We are also going to need some pressurized tubing, which I did teach the system how to craft this. So this won't be too bad to do here. There we go. Basic pressurized tubing. Just basic will be enough for demonstration purposes down here. Okay, basic pressurized tubing, just like that. We're going to set this... Actually, I don't think I do need to set this to full, do I? No. You can see the hydrogen is in here. Interestingly enough, it converts it to liquid hydrogen, even though it comes in through a gas line. But, yeah, I'm not going to ask questions on that too hard. Alright, the next step we need to do is we have to get this powered. So, how much cable do I have? A decent amount. It might be enough. So we're going to have to get... We're going to try to use the RTGs just to be more efficient with our power usage in here. One thing that might help... Give me my hammer. Where is my hammer? Here it is. Okay. So now this is the bottom of the ring right here. So we're going to go ahead and we'll start with a Californium in the corner right here. Where's my cable? Here it is. I'll go ahead and get some light back down in here so we can see what the heck we're doing. Now see, this is technically 3 right here. Now these should be able to connect off the same line. So like right here, we're past the limit of what one of these RTGs could support, obviously. They'll fill up a little bit, but eventually it won't be able to support anymore, so... Yeah, see, now this one's losing power. See, they're losing power in stages. It should be able to just add RTGs under here, and it should be able to hold the power after that. Yeah, see, now they're all powered. So, we should just be able to place these down. And we'll go ahead and connect them up because, like I said, there's really no pretty way to do this since the magnets aren't transferring power between them like they should be. Okay, I doubt that's enough for all of these, so we're going to let this build for a second and see what happens. It is not enough, so let me go ahead and throw 3 more down here and we'll see what happens. All these have to be green and stay green. Okay, actually that looks sufficient. I think we're good here. For the interior ring anyway. So okay, now we have to power the outer part of the rings. And this is going to be slightly uglier, unfortunately. So I could have done this differently had I thought about it, but I didn't plan for it, so unfortunately I can't. I might tear it up between episodes and make it look better. That's ultimate. I really need just some advanced cable. I'll go ahead and place this so we can get hydrogen flowing. We have to power the electrolytic separator, of course. Okay, where is the... Yeah, it's nuclear craft. Nuclear matrix. Set. Power. Eject on. And go ahead and toss a cable this way. There we go. So this should start filling up the liquid hydrogen tank in here, which it is. So we'll let that build up in the meantime while I go grab some more cable. Okay, so let's head back down here and we'll get the rest of this hooked up. Yeah, the power just cannot keep up. It's trying, but it's just not going to be able to, of course. So yeah, these RTGs are really handy. I could, you know, just put a quantum entanglement porter down and link with the main matrix and it wouldn't be a problem, but where's the fun in that? May as well use what we've been creating this whole time. Alright, now let's just get our RTGs stacked into the wall here. And this will take more of these because they do not provide as much power as the Californium ones. What the frig am I doing? Okay. Get out of there. Okay, let's see how we're doing here. We're actually pretty close. From the looks of it, I think if we just get a couple more, we should be good to go here. I definitely think we will have enough. Okay, add that power to it. Let's see what we got here. We're still chasing the line over there a bit. But we should be able to pull this off here. Okay. Get some light back in here. Yeah, especially right here. Alright, let's add these to the line. We should have it here. Hang on, let's take a look. I think we're good. Let's check the thing. No, it says it's not powered, so something's not quite powered enough. Okay, we got one there, it looks like. And you know what? I'm just going to try this. Nope, had to have a cable on. Okay. Not where I meant to put that. Alright, let's go and do that. Game, that should be powering that. Hang on. Okay. Oh, it's the corner on all the corners that are missing. Okay. In the lower part, anyway. Yeah, okay, if we can fix this. We have just enough RTGs that we can fix this. Dang it. Okay, yeah, easy mistake to make there. Okay, we should be good to go here. So give it a sec. There we go. Toroid size 4. You see liquid hydrogen is shown as the fuel. And then, yeah, that's all this shows at the moment. We're going to need a couple more things to get the process going here. We are very close to finishing this out. So we'll go ahead and get this up in this episode. The next thing we're going to need is some upgrades for our electrolytic separator. Alright, this should drastically increase how quick this fills this thing up. Especially once all 8 are in here. Okay. There we go. See, look at that. Much better. And this should fill up the second input tank. Yes. Once it's done filling this. Now, if I remember correctly, the last thing we need to get this thing going is it needs a little bit of power into the actual reactor itself here. So let me just see if this does it. Yes, we are good to go. This is producing, or this is taking some power at the moment. So what I'm going to do real quick before this gets too far, we're actually running this off of our induction matrix over here. We aren't running this off the core induction matrix back upstairs. Okay, so right now we're outputting 18K per tick. Now some of that's for the electrolytic separator, and with 8 speed upgrades that is going to be fairly heavy on the RF usage. But for right now, some of this is going to the fusion reactor as well. So, alright, let me explain what this is doing. So you notice this temperature is climbing here. The temperature has to be at a certain point, pretty high actually, before this thing starts producing power. So right now you see we're producing 0 RF per tick, and our efficiency is 0. As the temperature rises, this efficiency number will rise. Once it gets high enough, we will start producing power. This will take a while. I'll end up pausing while this happens, because, yeah, it's just going to be a while. So, alright, let me go ahead and get that ready. Alright, I'll be back with you guys in a little bit. This is probably going to take about 10 or 15 minutes for this to heat up. These do... I did say this does run at a power deficit before you actually gain power from this. So, yeah, I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes here, and I went ahead and added another quantum entangleporter over here to supply power from the nuclear matrix, and I removed all of the RTGs except for the ones in the corners because those aren't properly hooked up to cables right now, because I realized I wanted to show you guys the cost of supplying a ring like this, and I can't do that if the RTGs are supplying it. So we were at about 18K per tick. That's dropped a bit because the electrolytic separator shut off, but it looks like we're fluctuating between 14K per tick up to around, looks like almost 30K per tick at its highest. 26 I'm seeing, yeah, 30 I'm seeing a flicker of 30. So yeah, about 30K RF per tick to run this thing right now, which our generators, our nuclear reactors are keeping up with out here. Fission reactors, but barely. Plus these don't have a lot of fuel left. Yeah, these are down to 4. Let me take a look here. Now you can see we're at 1500. This unit here is kilokelvin. And we are still at 0% efficiency. We are currently still not generating power. So, yeah, it's still going to be a while. So, yeah, and it's been 10 minutes so far. So I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit when hopefully we get something more exciting. And also, once the reaction starts, we'll be able to see it through the transparent fusion electromagnets. Right now, it's empty because the reaction's not actually happening yet. That's also why these are waste product fuels, the fuel that this creates from processing fuel. So that's why these are empty, because we're not actually creating power yet, so no waste products are being created. So yeah, this gauge is your efficiency, this is your temperature gauge. and this is the energy stored gauge for, you know, internal power storage. The prevent input overflow button, this is used if you want 2 different fuels in here, so this would stop like the hydrogen from spilling over into this tank if you wanted to do that. Void leftover fluid, you can use this to destroy any fluid in here if you want to reset this or change what fuels are going into it. Void output overflow, you can use this if you don't have anywhere for the waste fuel, the byproduct fuel to go to. We will probably be using that because currently I don't have anything hooked up for that. And then I don't remember what this does. But I think I remember being told usually leave this one alone, the efficiency heat comparator. So alright, I'll see you guys in a little bit once it starts up again. Okay, I might have found part of the problem. We are now outputting 128,000 RF per tick out of this reactor, or induction matrix. And the thing we found is that the temperature change is somewhat limited by how much power can go into this at once. That's why we went ahead and switched this to ultimate cable. And as soon as we did that, it drastically increased how much the temperature change is going, because I believe this has to almost fill up to 8,000 before it starts the reaction. So yeah, we've been sitting here for almost 25 minutes now. I have, oh gosh, we're out of power. Our system can't handle this. Alright, I was gonna say I did redo all the cables along here to where they are much better now. Alright, hang on. Yeah, it's insufficient power. We're still raising temperature, but we're out of power. Alright, hang on. I can fix this. Give me a minute. Okay, switch this back to the advanced cable for now. And let me go ahead and get some of these RTGs down in some of these places. Okay, let me switch back to ultimate cable again. Because currently our reaction, of course, is like ground to a halt once more. We're actually losing temperature now because we're not supplying enough power to it. Okay. Okay, we do have positive temperature gain. I'm going to try to keep an eye on the... I'm just going to try to distribute these as evenly as possible. All these lines are connected, technically. So we should be good to go here. But, yeah. We're just going to try to make sure everything has got plenty of power for this. So, alright, let's see where we're at on this. We're close. And I think we're maintaining our temperature. The energy requirement should go down once ignition happens here, which should be happening very shortly. Okay, the fusion reactor is actually turned on now. You can see our temperature is continuing to build. We are creating deuterium. So we're actually going through our fuel now. Alright, and we're gonna go back upstairs real quick and see how our induction matrix is doing. Probably not well, if I had to throw a guess out. Well, it's actually better than I thought. It's fluctuating like crazy, but we still have a decent amount of power left. And I think we'll be able to sustain this until we actually are at a point where the induction matrix can sustain itself. Because eventually this thing will produce enough power that it will supply itself and then some. So yes, you can see now we are producing 1 RF per tick. Oh, now up to 2. So as this temperature rises, you can see our temperature gauge reset. And our efficiency is still at 0, but as this rises, it will increase the RF per tick this produces. We're going to go ahead and... Oh, we already clicked void leftover fluid for the deuterium. Because once that's full, if you don't have it doing something, it will stop the reactor. Sorry, something else interesting. I'm going to wait just a little bit. I don't know what the too many thing is on there. I saw that before too, and I thought it was kind of funny. Yeah, we're 16 RF per tick currently. Alright, actually I can go ahead and show it. So, something interesting I found. You know, I'd said in the past that Mekanism, the machines play very nicely with nuclear craft in terms of fluids versus gases. And that's kind of the case here, believe it or not. So, this machine, you can take a mechanical pipe, which does liquids, of course, and you can set it to extract. And if you look, that's deuterium. Liquid deuterium. So, we can destroy this. And now if I put a pressurized pipe on here for gases, and then set it to pull, you can see now it's red. This is deuterium gas. So yeah, you can use whichever pipe you want to pull out the liquid in whatever state you want, which is really handy. You can see now our tanks are pretty much full. And yeah, normally if you don't have void leftover fluid, it would be stopping the reaction at this point. We are currently at 140 RF per tick, climbing decently quickly, and still at 0% efficiency. So alright, I will see you guys in a little bit. I know we're way over our time limit, but this is a huge step to get one of these reactors up and running. So, yeah, I will see you guys a little bit later once this... I've got a timer going, so we'll see how long this takes it to get to decent efficiency. See you guys in a bit. Okay, our reactor is now at 1% efficiency, and we are producing about 3,000 RF per tick at 1% efficiency. So this is going to go a lot faster. I went ahead and connected up our quantum entangler to dump power back into the nuclear craft induction matrix over there. And you can see one of the best things about this, at least with this size fusion reactor, is our one single electrolytic separator is enough to keep up with this thing, which is absolutely incredible when you think about it. So yeah, this thing produces just enough to keep up with this thing. So alright, that's only 1% efficiency, so I'll see you guys in a bit later when we get more than 1% efficiency. Oh, and that reminds me, if you look in the outer ring now, you can see the purple fusion reaction taking place. That is actually a liquid in there, which can break, if you like mine up one of the pipes and break it out, it will like spread and it can set things on fire, so don't do that. Alright, see you guys a bit later. Also, this inner core here turns as the fusion reaction continues. So it will speed up. Right now you can see it's pretty slow, but it will speed up its rotation as more and more power is generated per tick, more and more efficiency. So I just thought that was kind of cool, because you'll be able to compare it to later on. Okay, it's a little bit later. It's been about 20 minutes now, and you can see we're at about 25% efficiency, and we are currently generating 60k RF per tick, which is absolutely incredible. So if we come out to our, oh, come on now. So if we come over to our, are these done producing? Now, let me shut these off. The other two are done producing. So if we come to our induction matrix, this is going to be very pleasantly going up now. Yeah, as you can see, we're inputting 67k per tick, and it just keeps going up. It just is not stopping. So, right, we actually have enough now that we can disconnect the RTGs, because now this thing's definitely self-sustaining at this point. So we'll go ahead and do that, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, it's been about 27 minutes, and you can see we're inputting and outputting 0 RF per tick from our induction matrix over here right now. That is because I've entirely switched the fusion reactor over to its own power to sustain itself. So all these are now in a new frequency, just fusion reactor, and all the power it outputs is going right back into it, so it's supplying its own fusion electromagnets at this point, and it's powering the electrolytic separator. And if you look at our RF per tick, we're at 42% efficiency and currently 109,000 RF per tick. So I'll see you guys more later when we get more on that. Okay, it's been about an hour and a half since I set this up. You can see this thing is flying now on its turning speed. And we're about topped off on efficiency. I really can't get it much higher, or at least not without it taking forever. So we are currently at 248,670 RF per tick. Absolutely insane amount of power generation. Eventually, as the temperature continues to rise, this is now megakelvin, I believe, MK for the temperature. Eventually the efficiency will start dropping, going the other way. So we'll look into how to avoid that in the next episode, but I know we are way over our time limit already. But just for fun, I'm going to set this back to the nuclear craft and see if I can see this thing pumping 250k RF per tick back into this thing. Oh, nope, wrong one. Which one is this? Nuclear matrix, my bad. Nuclear matrix. Okay, let's quickly run over here and check it. That's strange. Oh, I see. My bad. This is the input, not the output. The output's back here. So it is nuclear craft. Eject on. Okay. So yeah, we had the right one a minute ago. Okay, let's try that one more time. Oh, I think I know what the limitation is. I believe the induction provider limits how much input per tick we're allowed to receive. Either that or the cable's limiting how much input per tick we can receive. So, yeah, the cable only holds 128,000. So that's the most it can get out per tick. Okay. So yeah, still, that's absolutely incredible, obviously. And that will fill up very rapidly with that kind of power going into it. Well, yeah, I know this episode went on forever. This is probably the longest episode I've ever done, actually, for this mod pack so far. But, yeah, we've created a fully functional nuclear craft fusion reactor. And, yeah, we just broke up 250,000 RF per tick. So, yeah, I think that's going to be all for this episode. So, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you next time.